Welcome, Leo. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot getting ready to do your reading. I've laid out the Energy Archaeology Oracle and the Soul's Journey Oracle cards first, and I'll start here with the overall energy for the reading, the Nine of Wands. I'm reading this during the Saturn-Neptune conjunction in 0 degrees of Aries, so this is powerful for you, another fire sign. There is a lot that is popping off, shall we say, in terms of Saturn's rigidity, stability, and structure, and Neptune's ability to connect with everything, despite the nature of that thing. Neptune ruling Pisces is about that one love energy. Everything is everything. And its ability to dissolve structures, to dissolve old patterns of behavior, belief, expectations. The Nine of Wands here is describing you having worked on something for a very long time. It can be a project, it can be your own self-development, which in this case feels very much like a course of study or a path of self-study that you have been engaged in for a while. As we look at the raven sort of carefully picking up this big staff and preparing to set it up here in the perfect row, it looks as though the first 4 or 5 staffs have already experienced some kind of turbulence, some kind of damage, disruption in the atmosphere. And perhaps the raven has gone back to patch those up in some way, hold them together so that they're standing straight, and we're not sure how stable they are, but they're there. And this is a story about perseverance, having worked, throwing your entire self into something repeatedly on a sustained level so that you feel yourself getting very close to the victory. But you are exhausted, you're worn out because you have to keep going back and fixing up what flags, what flails, what gets knocked over through the forces of the atmosphere, the universe. So I feel you close to something and you excited by the energy of anticipated success, but at the same time, your exhaustion. This heavy lifting literally is really wearing you down. And in some ways, you lose your determination as you have it to keep going back and shoring up what you've already established for yourself. Next I'm going to turn to the Energy Archaeology Oracle, and you've pulled stability. And for those of you that are healers, doctors, naturopaths, the lumbar spine is what is called out and pictured here. So let me look this up in the guidebook because I'm going to read to you the wisdom of this card. And in balance, the keywords are build upon and commitment. And out of balance, the keywords are collapsing and unstable. The wisdom of this card reads, there are seasons when you build stability and seasons when you rely on it. Seasons of growth and seasons of hardening. The energy is that part of your spine isn't one that calls to you all the time, nor should it be. You sense this part of yourself when it is tested. Stability is not meant to be unmovable. It is not a tree that breaks in the wind because it's so rigid, but a tree that sways and returns upright. Your stability is the strength to stand or endure. When disturbed from your energetic sense of equilibrium, you have the capability to restore yourself. You need to create or reevaluate your energetic stability comes when something shifts above or below it in the spine. Deconditioning work and coming further into belonging with yourself or your lineage will necessitate a deeper, more grounded sense of energetic stability. Growing your capacity for finding more stability will rely on it. Your stability will be tested, and your strength lies in standing true and restoring your alignment. Wow. And that really does shed a little bit of a different light on this Nine of Wands card, right? How is this crow getting these sticks to stand up on the earth? Using his beak alone. And how is he distracted, exhausted, worn out by the continual ability to have to go back and fix up ones that have been standing for who knows how long? This idea that these can withstand the forces of nature seems evident here, but not without a lot of labor, not without a lot of flexibility. And that patching, that healing is part of flexibility, the resilience to sway. The Freedom card, I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. Absolutely makes me think in this case of responsibility. With great freedom comes great responsibility. That is what comes to mind. And that is, I do feel for many of you that I'm speaking to a position you find yourself in, having great gifts of the soul, talents, capacity, competence, knowing how best to challenge that in a way that supports you and others. Many of you are caregivers. You may be responsible for other people in your lives on a personal or familial level or in the community, in your workplace. So your skills end up playing multiple roles in supporting some work that is meant to be of service to others. So it's interesting, as we are young, we think of freedom as the release from responsibilities or obligations to others. But as you have matured and worked to develop something that means something to you, that represents your growth, your development, you are understanding freedom in a very different way. In the 10th house, your social position, identity, the way others see you, the Six of Pentacles is stunning. This is showing me new contracts, new agreements, new ways in which you are negotiating the exchange of energy. This can be anything from a relationship with an individual or a group of individuals. This can be further study, understanding the investment you make in study, in your studies, in your learning, will be balanced out by what the skills you gain, the knowledge you gain. This is also about being present in negotiating your relationships or your exchanges of energy so that you place your desire first and foremost, understanding necessarily that that is going to have to be negotiated and there's going to have to be compromise sought. But by placing your desire front and center for yourself, you're able to negotiate something that is at least reflective of most of your own terms, if not some of them, without using your desire front, most, and center. You risk overworking, an unfair exchange, and the resentment that follows that. And one that you must take responsibility for if you didn't ask for what you wanted. There's a deep lesson there, and that likely applies to your relationships as well. In the first house, the Star card, this is lovely. There's a larger vision that I think you're feeling your way towards. I don't get a feeling that you are moving clearly towards a vision, but that you are maintaining your intention to move in the direction of a North Star. That North Star is a better world, an improvement in your life, an opportunity to partake more broadly within the world, to learn and to give, to share, to expose yourself to new ideas which you fundamentally understand are in a deep alignment with your own ideas and beliefs. This can be, for some of you, some brush with fame, some public notice or attention coming your way for something that you participate in. And that's exciting for some of you. That may be a way in which you are uplifting a project or work that you're doing that, again, intends to be of service to others. In the fourth house, the house of your home, your soul, but your foundation, the World card, you have victoriously closed out a cycle. You have been recognized, you've been rewarded in some way. Others see the work that you've done, and that has been validating to your experience, whatever that experience is. You understand most fundamentally that this is preparation for a new path, a new beginning. That closing out of the cycle can be the closing out of struggle, the closing out of the insecurity of doing something on your own, the exhaustion that has been creating in your life so that you have little time for much else than to meditate or dream, because I see that as active as well in your life. In the seventh house of significant others, the Queen of Cups. What's so beautiful about this is your attention to your needs, your self-respect, your self-honoring of your needs. And again, what is coming to me is something that seems as if it's in the air. You are teaching yourself how to love yourself, first and foremost. It's not naturally the only love in your life. This does not exclude anyone. But in order to do the heavy lifting you are doing, in order to care for others, be responsible for others, be obligated to others in some way that's critical, you've had to up the quantity and quality of self-care. And that doesn't mean, I say this often, bubble baths and getting your nails done. It's not limited to that. This is deeper. This is giving yourself 20 minutes in the morning to meditate before you jump out of bed and rush into your day-long activities. This is allowing yourself to take a walk around the park at lunchtime instead of hustling over to get some quick snack, or better yet, bringing leftovers of a meal, a healthy meal you prepared at home, and enjoying that in lieu of purchasing something. There are so many ways in which you can honor yourself as a habit of making space for you. Again, this is not about being alone or being by yourself. The more you give to yourself, the more you are in gratitude for all the love and support that you have. And I believe when you are honoring self, respecting your own needs, others resonate to that and are showing up in support of you. If this reading is resonating for you, Leo, please like this video. Please share this video with others and subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. Thank you so much for doing so. And I'm going to start clarifying, starting with the Star card in the first house, and I pulled the Magician card. I'm going to go around and clarify each and every wheel. So the World with the Ten of Swords, the Queen of Cups with the Five of Swords, And for the Six of Pentacles, we clarify with the Death card or the Rebirth card. I'm starting here, the Star. In fact, no matter how dreamy, non-verbal or non-literate or articulate your vision or dream is, you are taking everything within your power, all the resources that you have at hand, and you are creating an expression of a dream, a vision of yours. This can be taking ownership or empowering yourself, committing to step up in some very public way and declare yourself in a way that would have been frightening or difficult, if not impossible for you to do in the past. Perhaps there was a more public role that you shunned because of your insecurities in the past. You're willing to step up to that place now. If for some of you, you are showing others how to do that. You are teaching them how to step up, how to speak in public, how to be clear, how to write clearly, how to use their voice in a true and authentic way. So this is a skill that you already have, that you are recommitting to at the level of providing information, showing others how something can be done, how something can be built, how one can own and create change through the ability to articulate your own personal story. And in the fourth house, the World card is clarified by the Ten of Swords. The heaviness I felt earlier is very much confirmed with the Ten of Swords. The darkness here, the complete ending, the release of old beliefs, old ideas, particularly old expectations of others that you didn't even know were not your own expectations. You believed that what others wanted for you was because they knew what was best. That was their job, after all. However, you've come through many experiences in which you've experienced betrayal or a non-reciprocity of support, a disconnect. Even if you fulfilled your part to the best of your ability, at the end of the line, there was nothing there. There was nobody home. And for some of you, I think you'll understand what I'm describing here. It could be a relationship that you greatly desired, and when you materialized that, it was empty. It was shallow. It was even painful in some ways. There was very little love, but there was a lot of grandstanding, arrogance, pride. And this is something that you have ended. You're learning to end it, because endings are not like a full stop kind of thing, right? These are ideas and beliefs you grew up with. They're ideas and beliefs that your loved ones imbued you with, believing again that you would be successful, happy, by internalizing these values and expectations. But you've learned the hard way that these are not necessarily for you in the way that you were told they would be. It looks different in real life now. And as a result of gaining those lessons, you are prepared to move on to something new. In the seventh house of significant others, the Queen of Cups is clarified by the Five of Swords. This is one card. The Five of Swords talks about the depth of healing that is required. For many of you, you have been talked about, criticized. You've attracted a lot of haters. There's a lot of envy, perhaps, or jealousy around qualities that you have. These are unlikely to be things that you have a great control over. And yet you have had people dismiss you, not take you seriously, tell you that you weren't good enough. And because of your insecurities for a while, those really held you back. They kept you back from stepping out to, in a more public way, declaring yourself publicly, speaking about what you desired openly in a way that you're more and more prepared to do so now. But as you have come to recognize and heal these wounds, this non-support, this disrespect, you realize that the problem is not you, that you have to pick your battles. If you respond or feel some kind of way to everything that someone says that isn't kind, that is mean, or that is meant to undermine your sense of confidence, because that's what often it is, you will never get anywhere. This is about being selective. Yes, you hear those things and you find the seed of truth or learning of value in what is said, even when it's not intended to be constructive. But you no longer internalize those ideas, those beliefs, those words that are intended to be hurtful. You're healing yourself from those and privileging what you know to be true, your intuitive voice, your inner voice. In the 10th house, the Six of Pentacles is clarified by the Death card. And this is really talking about the change in the way that you understand energy is exchanged. This is about love and money. This is about all the relationships that we have that are open to our desires in ways perhaps that we did not understand. In the past, we were told what we wanted. And then we quite often, and for many of you, pursued those things thinking it was what we wanted. But now you are privileging your real desires, your authentic desires. And understanding that allows you to reclaim your power, to enforce what is healthy, what is fair, what is equitable for you in terms of money, in terms of your relationships, specifically in terms of love. Do you have those conversations early in a relationship, or do you have them later? Do you check a bunch of boxes on an app and assume that as a result of that, you are going to be coupled appropriately with everyone that you date? Probably not. This is really about the continual growth that relies upon negotiation, speaking, discourse, conversation, agreements. And that agreements, you're now understanding, are the basis of relationships, any relationships. And this is the change that occurs. You reclaim your desire as foremost for you, with the expectation, of course, that another person or a group of people are going to rejoin that with what is important to them. But having stated your desire, you are clear about negotiating and compromising from that place, a place that has value to you, a place that would satisfy you. And that is something that affects the potential of any relationship. Any growth has to happen on the basis of your ability to be authentic, to be truthful with the resources you have. And that is personal development as well. I'm going to finish this reading, Leo, with a crystal oracle, and I pulled the selenite, and the key word is spiritual awakening. I am a spiritual warrior of the light. Leo, I feel that you have really worked long and hard and continue to work long and hard to understand your power here. And in many ways, this is the power of leadership, of responsibility. That can be as a parent, that can be as a friend, that can be as a distinct voice among a team of collaborators or co-creators. Thank you so much for this reading. Until next time, namaste.